Welcome to Worldwide News. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking update. Imagine the world as one giant playlist, where for decades the music was a smooth global mix. American pop in Indian malls, Chinese tech in California homes, everyone dancing to the same beat. But now it's as if someone slammed their hand on the record. The music screeches to a halt, replaced by the clashing noise of economic walls going up. This abrupt change in tune is what we call a trade war. A global party interrupted, with real consequences for everyone, including you. To understand why your Big Mac is suddenly at the center of an international incident, let's rewind. For years, America bought affordable goods from countries like China and India, while American brands expanded into their markets. A win-win called globalization, but cracks appeared. U.S. jobs moved overseas, and complaints grew about unfair trade practices. By the late 2010s, the U.S. shifted from free trade to fair trade, imposing tariffs on China, and by 2025, a massive 50% tariff on Indian goods, citing political reasons. This wasn't a tweak, it was a seismic shock, signaling a new confrontational era. That history sets the stage for today's drama. The summer of 2025 saw the U.S. slap a 50% tariff on Indian products, an economic bombshell that sent shockwaves through global markets. Overnight, the world's largest democracy and the world's largest economy found themselves locked in a high-stakes standoff, with billions of dollars and millions of livelihoods hanging in the balance. The announcement dominated headlines, sparking heated debates in boardrooms, parliament halls, and living rooms across both nations. Suddenly, Indian goods from furniture to clothing became far pricier in America. Shoppers in cities like New York and Chicago were stunned to see their favorite Indian textiles, spices, and handcrafted goods double in price almost overnight. Retailers scrambled to update price tags, while small businesses that relied on Indian imports faced tough choices: raise prices or risk going under. In India, the response was swift and resolute. Prime Minister Modi revived the Swadeshi call for self-reliance, urging citizens to support homegrown industries and reduce dependence on foreign goods. Nationalist leaders took to the streets and airwaves, calling for boycotts of American brands and rallying the public around the idea of economic sovereignty. Social media exploded with calls to shun U.S. products like McDonald's, Pepsi, and Apple. Hashtags like #boycottusa and #vocal for local trended for days, as influencers, celebrities, and everyday citizens posted videos and messages urging their followers to stand up for India's economic interests. Massive rallies and viral campaigns turned a trade dispute into a matter of national pride. Streets in major cities filled with protesters waving flags and chanting slogans, while online petitions gathered millions of signatures in record time. The movement quickly became about more than just tariffs. It was about identity, dignity, and the power of collective action. The battle moved from government offices to the streets and smartphone screens. Every new policy announcement, every protest, and every viral video added fuel to the fire, making it clear that this was no ordinary trade dispute. It was a cultural and economic showdown. For American companies, decades of building their presence in Asia were suddenly at risk. Executives watched nervously as sales plummeted and brand reputations took a hit, not just in India but across the region, as other countries watched the standoff unfold. The storm of tariffs and nationalism created a hostile environment for U.S. brands, leaving many to wonder if the damage could ever be undone, or if a new era of economic rivalry had just begun. For McDonald's, new tariffs in China and India have created a 300% problem. Costs have tripled in some regions. Tariffs on imported ingredients, retaliatory taxes, and political pressure make it nearly impossible to keep prices low or profits up. Even with local sourcing, key items like specialty potatoes and sauces still rely on global supply chains, now heavily taxed. American brands have become targets of nationalism, with boycotts turning lunch choices into political acts. The slogan, "Born there, not here," captures the mood. Navigating this landscape means legal headaches, supply chain chaos, and marketing challenges in an anti-American climate. For McDonald's, every burger is now a political statement. The tariff war's impact ripples far beyond McDonald's. What might seem like a simple business story about a fast food giant is actually a window into the complex web of global trade, economics, and culture. When international tensions rise, the effects are felt not just in boardrooms, but in everyday lives across continents. Local jobs are at stake. Most staff, suppliers, and managers are locals, not Americans. These are people who depend on steady business for their livelihoods, from the teenager working their first job behind the counter, to the delivery driver making daily rounds, to the factory worker packaging food supplies. Each role is a vital link in a much larger chain. When sales drop, it's local workers and farmers who feel the pain. Farmers who supply potatoes, lettuce, and other ingredients suddenly face shrinking orders. Restaurant staff see fewer customers and worry about reduced hours or even layoffs. The impact is immediate and personal. Even small businesses that rely on the foot traffic generated by McDonald's, like nearby shops and delivery services, find themselves struggling to stay afloat. The wider economy suffers too. Storefronts empty, ad revenue drops, and construction projects stall. The slowdown ripples outward, affecting sectors that might seem unrelated at first glance, from advertising agencies to real estate developers. For young people, American brands were a taste of something global and aspirational. Losing them shrinks consumer choice and cultural diversity. These brands often represent more than just products. They're symbols of connection to the wider world, and their absence can feel like a step backward. The push for local products risks closing off markets and stoking suspicion of international influences. While supporting local businesses is important, a sudden shift can breed mistrust and limit opportunities for cultural exchange and innovation. Most worrying, these trade wars escalate tensions between major powers, making global cooperation harder. Diplomatic relationships become strained, and the spirit of collaboration that once drove progress is replaced by suspicion and rivalry. The fate of McDonald's in Asia is a barometer for the health of our interconnected world. It's a reminder that in today's global economy, the choices made in one country can have profound effects on lives and communities thousands of miles away. Tariffs aren't just numbers, they're roadblocks that double or triple costs before a burger is even made. Take potatoes. A $100 shipment now costs $170 after tariffs and penalties. The secret Big Mac sauce? A $1,000 container can balloon to $2,000 with new taxes. For fast food, which relies on high volume and low margins, these increases are devastating. You can't shrink the fries or swap the sauce without customers noticing. Consistency is the brand's promise, but now McDonald's is trapped between rising costs and customer expectations. The business model is under siege. Experts see opportunity and risk in this chaos. Indian brands are seizing the moment, using nationalism to win market share. Nationalist leaders call this a turning point for economic independence, hoping to build local powerhouses. But analysts note that habits die hard. Many still choose McDonald's for convenience and value, despite boycotts. The real danger, economists warn, is that trade wars can trigger inflation, slow growth, and hurt ordinary people. The global economy is too interconnected to unplug without consequences. The outcome is far from certain. This drama boils down to a daily choice. What's for lunch? Nationalist campaigns urge people to buy local as an act of patriotism, turning shopping into a political statement. But global brands like McDonald's are deeply woven into daily life, offering convenience, value, and familiarity. The result? Tension on the ground. Boycotts trend online, but many still line up for burgers and coffee. There's no single response. Families are divided and habits persist. The battle for hearts, minds, and wallets is ongoing. Every purchase is a vote that will shape the future of global trade. So, what's next? As headlines flash across our screens and the world's attention shifts from one crisis to another, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the uncertainty. But beneath the surface, a new reality is taking shape. One that will affect not just corporations and governments, but each of us in our daily lives. The world's economic playlist is at a crossroads. Decisions made in boardrooms and parliaments are rippling out to every corner of the globe, changing the way we work, shop, and connect. The stakes are high, and the outcomes are far from certain. For companies like McDonald's, the options are grim. Each path forward comes with its own set of risks and trade-offs. The Golden Arches, once a symbol of unstoppable global expansion, now face tough choices in markets that were once considered safe bets. Raise prices and lose customers as affordability slips out of reach for many families. The familiar comfort of a quick meal becomes a luxury, and foot traffic dwindles. Absorb costs and lose money, watching profits shrink and balance sheets bleed red. For workers and franchise owners, the pressure mounts as uncertainty grows. Or pull back and lose growth, shuttering stores and retreating from communities that once welcomed them. Each decision leaves a mark, not just on the company, but on local economies and livelihoods. Trade tensions could cool if leaders change or economic pain grows, but the path to compromise is rarely smooth. Political shifts, public protests, and economic shocks all play a role in shaping what comes next. But a return to the old ways seems unlikely. The era of seamless globalization, where goods and ideas flowed freely, is giving way to something more complex and unpredictable. More likely, we're entering a fragmented era, one where the world is divided into competing blocks, and companies must adapt to a patchwork of rules, cultures, and expectations. In this new landscape, global brands must become multi-local, relying on local supply chains, management, and even branding. Success will depend on understanding local tastes, building trust, and staying nimble in the face of rapid change. The global brand as we knew it may fade, replaced by a mosaic of regional identities. The icons of yesterday might not survive tomorrow's challenges. This is bigger than burgers. It's a wake-up call about the world we want to build. Our choices as consumers, citizens, and leaders will shape the future of globalization, for better or worse. What's the right balance between national pride and global openness? How do we protect local jobs and cultures while staying connected to the wider world? The products we buy have hidden costs and stories. Stay curious, ask questions, and understand all sides. Every purchase is a vote for the kind of world we want to live in. The world's playlist is being rewritten, and your choices help shape the next track. The future isn't set in stone, it's being composed, one decision at a time.